What is up, guys? Slasher here, and I want to start by saying thank you to everyone for your support. We've now hit 100 subscribers. That's amazing. Thank you to everyone for supporting. Really means a lot. And today, we're going to be looking at a tier list. Again, we're going to go through each of the colors as much as we can throughout the weeks. And we're going to be looking at red today. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. So, here we are. We have red. Now, let's start with just some basic ones here. We have, Vados. This was complete garbage. I think this is probably the worst leader for red we've had. This was from set 1. So, that is going in trash. Chumper. Chumper wasn't bad. And actually, you still see it sometimes today. I believe you can, discard a card from your hand and then give it a card double strike. That was, I would say it's the bottom of meh. Hit, the old one, garbage. We have Yamcha. Now, I don't remember too well what one of the two Yamchas was actually not bad, but I would say, I think if I'm correct, this is the one where you get to keep drawing like an extra card. So I would say that is meh. There we go, Pilaf. This is garbage. Gogeta. Now, this one was actually a good leader. You get double strike 15k. This is actually not bad, but I believe if you wanted to play the Exodia version, that was with the other leader. And that one, your opponent couldn't use counters with the energy cost of 2 or more, I believe. I would say that this would be meh. It's actually not bad. I would put it probably at the top. Come on, get a chair. There you go. The Broly BR. This one I would say is meh as well. We've got Launch. Now, Launch is actually good. Launch is a good deck. Would I say it's competitive or meta? Probably not. But for what Launch can do, it's a solid deck. You draw a lot with the deck. So I would probably put that into locals or just good in general. Piccolo. Now, this is the one that was crazy good for such a long time. And then they hit it with some bans and erratas and stuff. So I would say, is it good / locals? I'm going to be generous and put it there, but it's going to be probably at the back, at the very back. Because you can still compete with it. But it's just not as good as you want it to be anymore. Which is good that they did that. It was dominant for such a long time. Bardock. This is where you get to play all your 1-drops. I would put this into good locals. I mean, if you've got probably those top 3 players at your locals who are just naturally good with playing. I would say if they picked up one of these and took it, they could perform very good with it. It is a good deck in general, especially for beginners to play as well. But is it competitive? No. No, it's not competitive. Yeah, now this is a classic. If only they would go back on the errata. This leader was just so much fun. I think it is the most fun red deck there was. Until they hit the field card for it. So I would say this is now meh. Can you still use it today? Yeah, you probably could. But it's too energy heavy now. Because you have to pay 1 to now play your little 1 costs onto your opponent's field. Gohan, U7 Gohan. Now this is a solid one. Is it competitive? Hell no. Is it good? Yes, it is very good. I would put that just behind Launch. If they ever make a blue leader that can do Warriors of Universe 7, that actually is a decent leader, then you're going to see a lot of Invoker start to pop up. Jaren, now this is just 2 inches away from it being good. The deck is very consistent. It is very strong. But sadly, they just didn't create the support the deck really needs. But I would say it is Yeah, I mean, if I put Bardock there, then I would say this would be here too. We'll eventually put things in better order as well as it goes on. Now, Goten, this is probably the best of that whole generic set they made with the Broly leader, that you either have a bunch of extra cards in your drop. You've got this as well for its variant that you could play. This is actually a lot better, and they made support for this too, but it's still not good enough, so I'm going to put that in meh. Same with the Broly as well. I mean, there is some power in it, but it just doesn't do what you want it to do, sadly. U7 Goku. Now, this is still, in my opinion, of course, it's all varied on opinion, but I would say this is a very strong deck. Could you win regionals with it? No, probably not. Could you perform very well in top and locals with it? Yeah, most likely you could. So I'm going to put that into good, and I will put that just ahead of Gohan. Just because it is more consistent, and Gohan lost a bit of its fuel because of the Yamcha counterattacks. They really needed some sort of counters for it. What do we have? The Grand Priest. Now, this is a fun deck. It's a bit strange to play. Is it good locals? Yeah, I would say, but I would put it probably at the back here. Now the GT crew. This is a solid deck. Of course, because of Black Smoke Dragon, it kind of killed the deck. Well, kind of. It really killed the deck. But they did make support for it that gives your Unison barrier temporarily. Is it competitive? No. Is it good locally? Yes, I would say. I would put that at the very top. Dr. Mew. Now, the General Rildo, or as I call it, the General Dildo, that deck is probably one of the most fun decks, but it just can't perform at the same levels of a lot of these other ones in good locals. Is it fun to play? Yes. Is it good to play? It's decent. So I think I would put that at the very back here. You could take it to locals and still perform with it. The Goku Vegeta Trunks. See, now this deck, it had so much potential, but there was just no cards with Deflect and Barrier in that. If they would have made it so the Goku card was, let's say, Deflect, and then the Vegeta one was the one with the Barrier, maybe then it would have been a lot better. But because of just how easy it is to remove your board, nah, it's not good enough. I would put that at the top of meh. Android 13. Now, this deck is a lot of fun. I have this one as well. This is a very solid deck. It is very easy to play. It has the same kind of unawakened side of your leader as the Red Sin Shinron, where you can rest your card and then search, and then when you're awakened, you restand your leader. The only downside is that because your unawakened side doesn't count as an android, it starts as a supercomputer, that you don't get to use a lot of your tech, sadly. But you can awaken very quick. It's very consistent. So I would put this up here, and I would probably put it... Oh, I hate to do that, but I think I'm going to have to put it ahead of U7 Goku, sadly. I honestly do think that people are sleeping on U7. You should really give it a go again. I think it is very, very good. Especially if you add those overpriced Defeating Demons. Those are solid cards for the deck. What do we have? Vegito, side by side here. They are very good. I wouldn't... would it be competitive? Yeah, I would say they are competitive. Reason being is that there are so many different ways you can play it. You can add the yellow the yellow color into it, and you can give yourself counters and things like that. But overall, the deck is very consistent. You can pump out damage very quickly. Your Z Awaken, you can play it on turn 2. Your Double Strike, you can get rid of cards ignoring Barrier. It is crazy good. But would it beat things like, say, Gamma 1 and 2? Would it beat Sin Shinron? Probably not. But can it compete up there? Yeah, it can. This Goku is garbage. It is a terrible card. Babidi, what a classic. Garbage. the newer Invoker leader. So, as I said before, I think if they would have just made it so it was a blue leader, then it would have changed everything. But because it's not, I would say it's somewhere at the back of locals good. You know what? I think I'm going to have to move Piccolo down because it's not up there anymore. It just doesn't compete the way you want it to. But I'm sure people can prove me wrong. And then we have the Warriors of Universe 3. I built this deck for fun. You could build it for like €5, something like that. It's so cheap. Is the deck good? By all means, no. Is it fun to play? Meh. But overall, the problem with the deck would be that your chain is so easily removed. Nothing really has barrier. You can give cards barrier for like a turn, but it just doesn't do anything. That is the problem. A lot of your monsters that you're playing just don't really do anything. And it's so much crap you have to put into your drop for you to play something to begin with. So because of that, nah, it's not good. But is it trash? Oh, that's tough to do. I think I would put it at the top of trash then. Maybe I'm going to move it to meh. I mean, the boss monster for it is pretty good, where you can pay 3 energy and it's like a triple attack. And it gets like plus 5k because of cards you put underneath it. So it's not bad, but it doesn't perform what you want. So here are the new leaders. Would we rank them? I think because we've got the announcement for them, yes, we're going to do that, but we don't really know where they're going to be. But based on what they can do, I'm going to have to say that this Goku is probably going to be very, very good. You can put your power pole underneath your new boss monster that they made for it, and then you're going to be if I'm correct, you can make it a like quadruple strike, quadruple attack, double strike, which is just insane. I think it's going to be a pretty good deck. So I'm going to put it generously at the back of competitive, because I'm assuming, this is based on just assumption, that Sin Shinron and Gogeta are going to get hit in some way in the next ban list. With that being said, then I would say it would become competitive. If it doesn't, I would say it would be at the top of good locals, because it looks like it has a lot of potential. And I would say the same as well, but it would be slightly behind. Now we got Garlic Jr. Now this one I would say it's pretty good. I think it's going to be just behind Goku. You can rest it unawaken and start flooding your field with just your little, beat sticks. What about the Pan? Now, is this the old one or the newer one? Let's see, is the older one here? Yeah, so this is the older one. I had this for a long time using the old Super Saiyan 3 Goku engine, and I think it's like BT4, BT5 or something. This was a lot of fun, but it's just not good enough, the old one. The drawing was just not as good, because I think you had to attack leader cards. So I would put it at... I mean, it's still kind of meh in a way. You could still pick it up and use it, but no, you know what? It goes there. The old Dr. Mew, this was fun, but it is trash compared to the newer one. This Goku is not that good either. Trash. Here we are. Now we got a big boy. So the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Is it competitive? Yes. Is it meta? Well, yes, because of its 8-drop for now. So I would definitely put it up there. Baby. I don't think this one was as good, but I could be wrong. I think I would put this at top of meh. I really hope we see a new baby leader as well. It would be cool to see like a whole revival of that whole archetype. Yamcha, this was the good one, I believe. Now this one gets to go up here, because it was a bit of a rogue deck, and it's a very good leader overall. I would put it probably here. Yeah, I think that's generous there. Oolong, trash. I would put it somewhere here. Let me move that. There we go. So Gogeta. Now this was the one that you could make the whole Exodia deck, where you could play your ultimate, or just your 8 drops just extremely quick. Is it good locally? I mean, Yeah, probably at the back though. Let me put this one, by the way, up here because it is a lot better than this stuff back here. Frieza. Now this one, I would have to go. It's one of them. I forget by the look of them. One of them was completely trash. I would probably put this one in meh. Probably back here. And this is also completely trash. I would put that there. The OG Broly. Now, this one is probably back here. You can make something good out of it. It's just not very good. Here we go. Now, Bulma. This is a good leader. This is very good. Competitive? No. But it is better than the launch, for sure. Is it better than the GT crew? We see less of it. It's more of a deck that comes out during a specific time of the meta. So I would say it's good locals and probably up here. And U7, I think, would be ahead of launch, for sure. Then we have Cooler Mill. Now, this is a solid deck. That is going to go up here. Don't forget that it is a rogue deck, so it's just during the time that it is played. It's just going to be there for a while, and then it will disappear again like it normally does. But it is definitely the best one out of them. Now, the Barris. This is actually a very good leader. I would put this at the good locals. Yeah. I would say it has got some competitive nature to it, but it won't be able to perform with competitive decks. Frieza, that's the same thing. I would put that back here. I can't remember which one it was, but one of these was, it was like a Frieza swap and the other one was just trash. This had so much potential, but it just plays your vanilla beat sticks, like your no ability cards. It's too bad because I thought this had so much potential. I would have to put this in meh, probably at the top. Nappa can go in trash. What do we have? Oh, now this, I really want to see a revive of this old Kefla deck. I played the hell out of this deck. It was so powerful, it was so much fun, and then they just completely stopped support, and they started making like blue, yellow, and blue different versions of the deck. I would have to put this sadly at the top of trash. I do think that all this meh could do better than the Kefla today. They never made the right cards for it. I believe it needed more like skillless cards in general, but they never did that. I think they needed a Kale, 1 cost 10k skillless. This Vegeta sadly is trash. There's a lot of trash Vegeta leaders, unfortunately, or just ones that just underperform compared to Goku leaders. I would put this somewhere here. I mean, it is still playable. The awakening side to it, or to awaken it, sorry, is actually not bad, but it just doesn't do enough. And then we have the Majin Vegeta. This is also trash. I would put that back here. You don't draw with the leader, sadly. Oh, no, this is a classic. I used to have a Ginyu deck based around this, and also a red Gotang, or Gotenks, where you flood your field with all your ghost tokens, and then you take a life and give everything plus 5k on the field. Is it competitive? No. Is it good? No. Is it meh? No, not anymore. I would put this in trash, unfortunately. But if you ever wanted to make something that's like a fun hyper aggro deck, you can definitely use that leader. It just doesn't draw that much, sadly. Now, this is in my opinion, this is the better baby leader, but I would still put that here. This card, this is one of the promo Gogeta leaders. It's not bad. Like, it's a generically good leader, but it just doesn't do as much as you would want it to do compared to other things. So, like, let's say you wanted to make a nice U7 deck. You're definitely going to choose the Gohan over the Gogeta, of course. If you wanted to make just generic red cards and make a good deck, then, yeah, you could have some fun with it, but it's not going to be that great. I would put it at the top of meh, because it is a generically good leader. It just doesn't do kind of what you want it to do. Zeno is trash. I would put that somewhere back here. I don't know, maybe even further back, to be honest. Something like that, yeah. The other warriors of U7 Goku leader, yeah, it was okay. You have critical, I believe, awaken and unawaken, but you don't really draw unawaken. So because of that, I would put that probably into the top of trash, I guess. That might be a bit ungenerous, but it is what it is. We have the starter deck, Vegeta. Now, this was actually a very good deck for a long time. And if you ever wanted to play the Bardock, where you spam all your 1 costs, this is a great leader for a choice as well. You can give your Unison double strike. I would put this at meh. It has some value to it, but it just doesn't do what you would want it to do anymore. I would definitely put it above these. Let me just switch that around. I would say something like that is more generous. Let's put that up here as well. I would say it's still better. You draw decently with this Goku Vegeta Trunks leader. It's not bad. And now the newer pan. Good locals? Hell yeah. It's a good leader. You always see it pop up in locals or even in some regionals. Even last year in finals, there was a lot of these leaders. Is it better than Bulma? Yeah, I would say it is. But is it better than GT Crew? I would say they're about equal. What do we have next? Now we have the big boy, the one, the only, Sin Shinron. Yep, now this goes to the top easily. Not much said about that. We all know it by now. The classic Goku leader. I think you get plus 5k when you have 4 or less life. This was the starter deck, I believe. This is just trash these days, to be honest. It's just not that good. I would say it's still better than some others. This Vegeta, this had so much potential. And it was actually good for a little while as well. I really enjoy what the leader can do. But can it do anything today? No, sadly not. I would definitely put that probably somewhere in meh. What's a generous thing? I think something like that, yeah. Maybe, no, I think I have to put that ahead. This Yamcha, I think we can put at the bottom here. That was the shittier one. This Vegeta leader is trash. It is poo-poos. Then we got Kale. This is also trash. That would go just behind. And then we've got Hercule, the one that could draw a lot. I would say, to be generous, I'd go meh, because you can draw a fair bit with it. But is it good by any means? No, it's not. It's just a 5k to 10k leader. But it just doesn't compete compared to... you know what? You're going to go at the top of trash. You're going to the top of towards the top of trash. Freezer. Now, like I said before, I don't remember which one is the swap one. But one of these swaps, it was between these two, I believe. One of these was very good. But overall, let's see. What can we move around? What is a generous thing to move around? I think for trash, we could move this up because it is still better. I would probably put this for meh. Probably up here. It is still because it is U7, you can pick it up and put it in U7 decks. But there are just better choices out there. This Broly is not too bad. We can put that here. The Yamcha sees less play at the moment, so they can go further back. The Frieza swap also goes further back. The King Vegeta, it just doesn't see any play compared. I would put this Gogeta higher up just because it has the better support. If you didn't want to use the Exodia version, you could still play this version, and it would be very good. The Champa actually sees more play than any of these Freezers. King Vegeta doesn't really. The rest can stay back there. I think that's pretty accurate. Trash doesn't really matter. Not that much, but I would say it's a pretty good order here already. It makes sense. This sees more play. This is just a generically better leader, the Goku. The Kefla, yeah, I mean, if you wanted to flood and be aggro, then you could use that leader. The older Kefla, I'm just being generous because it was very good back in the time. This Warriors Universe 3, I would say, would be the better generic version of all these other ones. So I would put it higher up. Might even go to meh. But for now, are we seeing any play of it? No, we're not. Probably same with the Bardock too. I'd have to put that a little bit further back. What else do we have? Good locals. You know what? I'm going to have to move some of this down. I don't think it's fair to put them there. I would have to say Grand Priest would be at the top of meh. The Barris as well. The Dr. Dildo would go further back as well. This, yeah, I mean, that's tough. I would say it's still aggro, but I would have to put that at the top of meh for now. I will keep this there. I know we haven't seen the Exodia for a while, but you know what? No, it's going to meh. It doesn't deserve it. I think it's going to stay there. I think this is about a good place to put them. So, I hope you like the video. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. Peace.